Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, Oolong Braised Pork. In this video, I'm very privileged. We got Ian Hastes from Hastes Kitchen, and he is going to be knocking out an amazing Oolong Braised Pork. And then we're going to try and figure out if we can work out a tea-inspired cocktail to pair with it. This video is going to go under the tea recipes playlist. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, make sure you hit it with a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, then go click that button.
Click subscribe now.
I'm really privileged. Thank you so much for inviting me around. We're in sunny Norwich in Hastes Kitchen. And just to give a bit of a background, I've been following Hastes Kitchen's channel for about a year now. Lovely stuff, amazing. You need to check out his channel. Really, really amazing, kind of healthy but delicious recipes. And thank you, Ian, for inviting me around.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming all this way as well. Bless you.
It was
and thanks for watching the videos. It means a lot to me, to be honest with you as well. So yours are absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. No, and you know what? So what I did is I sent some teas to you a couple of weeks ago, and you've been messing around, tinkering in the kitchen.
Tinkering. I like my teas. Don't get me wrong. I'm nowhere near to the stage where I understand it as much as you do. So I've been playing with the flavours. And I think personally these work really well with this dish, but the most thing I'm looking forward to is the cocktail.
Ian, take it away. Show me what to do.
Okay, so first of all, we've got our mixing bowl. We're going to start building up our layers for our flavouring. Using quite punchy flavours today, but not overpowering it, because obviously we want the tea to come through and really sort of like go through the whole braising of the pork itself. So we're going to put a bit of citrus in here, a little bit of chilli pepper, got some star anise, coriander powder. But exactly measurement-wise, we've got on here a little tray of beauty, really. We've got 5 or 6 star anise. Yeah. That can just go straight into your little mixing bowl. On here, we have got coriander powder, so nice and soft, but nice sort of
like a little orangey zest to it as well, which works well.
Yeah, you either love it or hate it. So we've got a teaspoon of that, coriander powder, and we've got 2 teaspoons of 5 spice. You can't really have this without 5 spice, you know. I know it's got star anise in there anyway, but that's just going to work a lot.
You could always double up.
Totally. So 2 teaspoons of those. Over here, we have got just a little bit of ground nutmeg and a little bit of our leaves from coriander.
Beautiful. The smell here coming off this is already really, really aromatic and fragrant.
So we want to build that up now.
So it's quite classic kind of Chinese spicing, but with a little bit of freshness from that green coriander.
Keeping it as simple as you can. You know, we've got good quality pork going into the oven anyway, and then we want to get this in there.
So the tea that Ian decided to use, excellent choice, I have to say. River High, which is, for those of you who don't know, is an oolong tea, Chinese oolong tea, which is blended with licorice. So it's already got this kind of sweet aftertaste to it. You've tasted the tea, obviously, by itself.
This is the bit that confused me, because obviously I don't know that much about tea. So when I was using this, I was thinking, this is a really hard tea. How am I going to get the flavour out of this? Then it opens up like a seaweed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it opens up. It's amazing how it unfurls, actually, isn't it? From
beautiful.
These tiny little
It's like little
pellets.
kale leaves when it actually starts filling in.
Exactly. So there's licorice in it, but there's also a little bit of ginseng in it. You didn't know that, yeah. And ginseng and pork is a classic, you know, braising, especially for those Chinese herbal soups, those slightly medicinal soups. So a very classic thing is they use chicken soup or pork soup, pork bone broth, and they'll throw in some ginseng, they'll throw in various different Chinese herbs.
They just pair perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. Give it a bit of that spice.
It's an aphrodisiac as well, isn't it?
Well, it gives you energy. Let's see, we can test it out. Let's see what happens later with your wife.
So we put a tablespoon and a half of the tea. So a decent amount, because you want that flavour really to start getting into the pork dish. Now, liquid-wise, splash of Chinese vinegar. Yeah. Literally just a splash. And then citrus, so acidity that we're going to put into this, we're going to go on with a whole lime.
Whole lime?
Yep, so the juice of a whole lime.
Just get that.
That's it. Give it a good roll, 50% more out of a lime if you roll it.
Oh yeah. Check out this knife. That is an incredible knife.
Lovely. And while that's going in, over here, we've got a decent pinch of salt. Just got some salt flakes. Doesn't need any more than that, because we're actually going to salt the skin of the pork itself, and that's going to have a lot of salt in it. So, flavour-wise, we have got some sesame oil. It's going to give it a beautiful nutty taste through the sauce. A couple of tablespoons. Soy sauce. Again, 2 tablespoons. Doesn't really make much of a difference to this if it's light or dark.
Okay.
Okay. We've got some red braising sauce. Have you used this before?
Yeah.
It is a beautiful flavour. A tablespoon.
So what does that have in it? That's got a bit of caramel in it, I think.
Yeah, and it gives it that sweetness that you really want to work. So the actual pork skin itself, you want to have a little bit of crackling to it, and then you want that real soft, pull apart sort of meat.
So in China, that's called hongxiao rou. Hongxiao rou is red braised pork. So essentially, you're doing exactly that, but you're throwing some oolong in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
You like that? Chili.
Chili.
Not something you usually use on this, but I like a little bit of heat just going through the sauce.
I love a bit of heat. How do you want me to chop it?
You can literally just leave the seeds in, straight down the middle, and then chop it down lengthwise. We've got some ginger here. Just going to take the skin off. So we're going to use about an inch long piece. How you getting on with that knife?
Is that good? It's amazing. Super sharp. Do you want me to put this in?
Please. And we're just going to leave this quite roughly chunked. And that can all go in as well. Now that is really the basis of your punchy flavours, should I say. And then we're going to use a stock on here. So recommended a decent quality beef or chicken stock is ideal. Or lamb if you need to. And we've got 2 pints of that going in.
So the infusing of the tea, essentially, the temperature is in the oven. You're unfurling it basically while it's cooking. So you decided to do that versus pre-brewing and just pouring it in. Do you get more flavour that way?
Basically, I'm going to submerge this. So what you really want from the pork itself is for it to be a true braise, you want just the skin to be sticking out of the liquid. Yeah. You will then allowing all of that to go in at a low temperature for a long period of time to really just start drawing through the meat. And then on top, I'm going to really heavily salt that so we get a crust, first of all, and then I'm still going to baste it. So it will soften up again, but it'll be like caramelly and really like a glazed sort of chewy sort of effect to it.
So the thing about cooking with tea really is you want to maximize the amount of tea flavor that you're getting. And if you brew it beforehand and just use tea, it's probably not going to have the same strength as what you've done here, which is actually put the tea leaves in the braising liquor, put that in the oven. Okay,
so we've got a decent piece of pork here, and we're just going to score that reasonably deep. And you're just going just below that fat layer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to open that up completely.
Get those flavours in, huh?
Exactly that. Okay, so we've got a decent pinch of salt.
So the skin already has quite a nice dry look to it. It's not, you know, when you take bad pork belly out and it's kind of got that slightly kind of wet glisten. It's really nice and dry.
Exactly that. But basically, I just leave it upside down on a bit of tea towel or a bit of kitchen cloth, just upside down, and that will just draw out most of the moisture. You can put a little bit of salt on there as well if you want.
Yeah, and that helps render it and helps to just make it a little bit crispier.
That's all you want. It's basically if you cook skin itself, it will just always go slightly soft. So you need to draw as much of that moisture out there as possible. That is pretty much done. Right, just gonna wash my hands.
So a nice, pretty simple recipe in terms of just, you know, the ingredients you can throw together, but you can tell immediately that the amount of flavor going on in this dish is going to be, it's going to be a winner. I've got to really try and step up with the tea cocktail to match this.
Excellent.
You've given me a challenge, Ian. You've given me a challenge.
Okay, so over here, we've got a pan. Just going to whack a little bit of heat through there.
Okay.
And a little one over here. Tiny bit of oil, literally just a tiny amount, because obviously it's pork, it's a high fat content anyway. Skin side down.
Ah, I see. So you're actually going to kind of...
We're just getting a little tiny bit of crisp on there.
Yeah, nice.
Just to help it along its way. Over here, working on the same basis with an aniseed sort of taste. So we've got a bit of fennel.
Right.
All right? Yeah. So we're just going to chop them into quarters. Second fennel. Round the outside. Flip it around. I've got colour on the meat now.
Yeah.
I'm going to add my sauce. So my liquid itself, just around the outside. It's got that last star anise in there, haven't we? Something like that. We've got a little bit of sauce left over.
So it's just peeking out over the braising liquor.
Now this is important. You want to try and get a little bit more heat through there.
Okay.
As soon as we get bubbles, that can go straight into the oven.
All right.
130 Celsius for around 3 to 4 hours.
Low and slow.
Low and slow, so it should just fall apart. And that is it. Simple, simple, simple cooking, but packed full of flavour, I can promise you.
That's all that you need, isn't it? Like, and how long did that take to whip up?
5-10 minutes, tops.
Even less, even less. And you've got an instant, delicious meal. Oh, I'm super looking forward to tasting this. So that goes in the oven for how long?
3 to 4 hours at around 120, 130 Celsius.
But you can kind of let it just go. And,
you can whack this as an 180 Celsius for the first hour if you want. If you want this done in 2 hours, you can.
Yeah.
The meat itself will toughen up slightly. Leave it to rest for about half an hour. It'll just
the tea heads out there, they're all patient people.
Are they all patient?
Yeah, they're all patient people. Leave
it for 3 hours.
Let it do its thing.
Exactly
let it tick along nicely.
You know, even this can be done at 100 Celsius over 4 to 5 hours if you want. If you want to really.
If it was me, I'd be putting it in the night before,
leaving it overnight,
going to sleep, waking up to amazing food.
Okay, so we're off with the heat now. We've got bubbles coming around the outside.
Yeah.
We can take that off into the oven. So it's been cooking it away for about an hour, and the smell in here is...
Oh my God,
I'm pretty strong.
Really hungry.
Are you ready? So we're going to get that out. Now it's important to do this at this stage, otherwise it will burn. Which you do want. You want a little bit of colour on there, so you want it to be really dark crusted. So you've got this golden crust on here at the moment, and you can see that it started to pop with a little bit of crackling. And we're just going to douse that with just a small amount of honey.
So you don't want to put it on at the beginning, right? Because then it will just burn. It will go black.
So it will taste charred. So you will want flavour on there. You want deep colours on there, because this golden colour will go.
Yeah.
It will go really, really deep.
Yeah. Which is the classic Hongxiao, the classic red braised pork. Yeah.
To just be, just leave it just to melt just slightly and get it in between each one of those cracks.
It's melting into those cracks.
You want that flavour going through the meat. And that can go back in the oven again for another 2 hours. Okay.
Look at the colour on that. So you've given it a little sprinkling of salt, just...
Literally just a sprinkle of salt over the top, just to extra dry that out, and you've got this crust. But you can see now how soft that's gone as well.
Oh, super. Fork tender.
That's what you want.
That's absolutely what we want.
Okay, can we leave that to rest literally for about 25 to 30 minutes? Meanwhile, we're going to get on with our rice and a little bit of bok choy. So, rice-wise, we are going to make a...
Well, we're going to just use a jasmine rice, but we'll amp up the jasmine, right? So we've got some dragon pearl jasmine here. You can give that a smell, so you can smell. That's a proper jasmine tea, right? We're not talking about this kind of average Chinese restaurant jasmine tea. This is about 7 or 8 times scented, which means that they scent it with 7 batches of freshly picked jasmine flowers. Right,
wow.
so thousands and thousands of flowers in each batch, and then they do it 7 times.
So, with them being so engineered as such, does that make it a lot more costly?
Yeah, in the tea world, it's not costly.
Right.
A lot of it's being produced, but what you want to look out for with this dragon pearl jasmine is the white, right? You want to see a fair amount of the white, because that means it's early pickings.
Right, okay.
It means that you know when something buds,
Yep.
you get that kind of downy, furry hair on it. Yep. If it's picked later, it'll just be this kind of muddy green colour.
So that's where the flavour is for the white.
So that means it's really going to be nice and delicate. You don't want something, this is all about delicacy, it's about elegance, right?
Yeah. Because there is definitely a softness when you smell.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing too punchy, is there?
Exactly.
Okay, so how many put them in?
I reckon just put about 3 in, I think.
Oh, I want to put more in.
Okay, go on, you can do it,
2, 3. I'm going to go crazy and go 5.
Go for it.
Is that all right?
Yeah, let's go.
These are like £20 each.
No, they're not. No. Honestly, that's fine. You could, the only thing is, because we're boiling it with hot water for an extended period of time. With green teas, they can have a bit of bitterness if you over stew it. That's why you've got to be careful.
Then I'm going to go 4.
No.
We're going to go crazy.
Stick with your 5. Stick with your 5. We'll test it out.
So with the boiling water, I'm just going to put it straight into the rice, not directly onto the tea.
Yeah, that would be good.
We're doing a decent amount of rice today. This is really for a family of 4, or for me and Don and a film crew.
It's all mine.
Wonderful. Just going to get that up to heat. So the rice is cooking away, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Tops, really. We're going to get a pan up to heat and do a little bit of crunchy bok choy. I think you need a crunch element of this. If you've got crunchiness at the top of the skin on the pork, you've got that beautiful fatty bit, you've got the rice taking up some of those flavours. We're going to add a little bit of crunch with our vegetables.
Absolutely.
So these are all cleaned anyway, literally just halves. It's such a beautiful veg.
Keep the texture, right?
Absolutely. I want crunch, I want bite to these.
Yeah.
Again, excuse, we're doing a lot more than we need for just me and you. This is, say, family of 3 to 4. And just one more.
Because you've got this really soft, pillowy rice. You've got that unctuous, kind of sticky pork. You need this just to kind of give it some freshness, right?
Totally. And you want a bit of greenery on there, don't you?
Yeah.
So, chili.
So this is not a mega spicy chili, right? It's just...
This is a mild chili.
Yeah.
It will still put warmth through it,
Yeah.
but I'm going to actually counteract that with another little bit of sesame oil
Okay.
to go through the bok choy.
Okay, so the rice is done, and just getting that jasmine coming through. Don't want to overpower it, you know. I think you were right, 5 was better than 3. But yeah, it's just coming through. So, veg.
So, hot pan, our favourite oil today, just for the nuttiness again. A little bit of sesame oil.
Nice.
Okay, not too much. Gonna let that heat through, and then we're gonna whack in our chilies and our bok choy. So,
Oh yeah.
in with our bok choy. Teflon fingers.
Who needs utensils, right?
Exactly that.
Your fingers are there to be burnt.
We've got burnt hands that have been looked after for many years and warmed through. Our chili, just over the top, and we're literally just going to warm them through. You don't want a massive amount of overcooked veg because there's nothing worse.
There's nothing worse than soggy bok choy on the side of the plate. It's just one of the worst things, isn't it? It's just like losing all its moisture in the plate. You just really don't want that.
There we go.
Lovely.
So a couple of minutes on them, then we can serve this one up.
Nice, perfect.
You hungry?
I was hungry from the moment I walked in, but yeah.
Decent amount of rice. I want to get a little bit of that tea in there as well.
All right, go for it. It actually looks like it's taken on a bit of the colour of the tea as well.
It does, yeah. That is just, it's just enough there, just enough of a tone, isn't it? Not to be overpowering. Right, we've got our pork belly, which has been resting away there, and look how much colour and flavour has gone into that meat.
That's what you'd like to see. And look how it's just given up. When you're holding the tongs, it's just like, I'm going to fall away. I'm going to
definitely fall away. And then we're literally just going to cut these down.
Oh yeah, and then effortlessly slides through.
And then that's what we're looking for.
Yes, yes,
that
yes.
Beautiful little, with the fat's just rendered through and just kept it so soft.
Exactly. The fat has essentially just tenderized the meat, hasn't it?
So, I'm just going to have 3 pieces of that. I think that's enough, don't you?
3 pieces looks good, yeah. You ready? Oh.
We have got our bok choy. Just around the outside. You've got a lovely little char now to them as well. You see what I mean? You don't want too much colour on there. You just want that just a little bit of caramelisation.
Yeah.
Lastly, a couple of bits of our chilli. Just because we like a bit of heat, don't we?
Yeah. It's always a good bit of colour as well.
We've got a little bit of spring onion.
Okay.
Literally just a small amount. Cut them at diagonal. You don't mind having meat on a bit of spring onion, do you?
No.
No? And we're just going to scatter just a small amount around the outside. And that is our braised pork with bok choy and chilli.
It looks spectacular.
Right, I think we should put a little bit, just a tiny bit of our glaze just over the top.
I think we need some of that braising liquor.
Okay.
Do you have a spoon?
There'll be one in that back drawer.
Back drawer. You don't mind if I give this braising liquor a bit of a taste?
Go for it.
Just to get a feel for how that oolong has come through. The oolong just gives it this kind of, it's got the tea, but it's almost got like a slight fruity note to it. Almost as if you've added some sort of apples, or if you've added some.
It's acidity.
Yeah, it's added that acidity. Yeah. It's interesting.
But that tastes caramelisy with the tea. It's not overpowering, is it?
No.
And the aniseed's definitely not overpowering.
No, it's really balanced, and you're getting that lip smacking sweetness.
A little bit, a tiny bit of heat, and a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So
what can you make to go with that we can drink?
So what I was thinking was, it's a lot. There's a lot going on here. You certainly didn't make my life very easy, did you? Right?
I spent 12 hours yesterday, literally with 3 different bellies, perfecting this recipe? Because I wanted to make sure that you, the tea man, literally has it's the right sort of flavours. So I'm so glad it works.
The flavours are spot on, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure we have a tea that stands up to that.
Yeah.
There's no point in, sure, you could serve this with a nice jasmine tea, and that would have that cleansing property, right?
Okay.
You'd have the fat and you'd have the cleansing. But what we want to try to do is actually match and add even more complexity to the dish. So should we switch places?
Yes.
Right,
Do you
so
want to clean this down, chef?
No, it's all right. We can work here. That's fine. So what I've got here is Ruby Black. Ruby Black is a Taiwanese tea. It's from the cultivar, the 18 cultivar, TRES 18. It's a new cultivar, so they're constantly developing new varieties. Right. So just like wine, you've got different varieties, right? Okay. And so they're developing new ones, and this is relatively new. 30 years old, but in the tea world, that's relatively new.
It's very new.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll taste it first, so you can get a feel for the flavour. And the reason why I picked this is because this tea has a real kind of interesting spice to it.
Okay.
It's not your standard black tea. It kind of has this kind of spicy, slightly camphor, cinnamon, a little bit medicinal, a little bit more herbal. So I'm gonna brew this up. We've got hot water here. Give this one a quick rinse. And I'm gonna brew up one batch strong. So we're basically gonna brew one of them really strong, just so that's gonna be for our cocktail. So we're gonna leave that for a while.
Love it.
And then you're gonna just taste this one here and see what you think. Already, the aroma coming off these leaves, mixing with that pork, it's doing really great things.
I love this, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It makes tea making super convenient, and then you can just do it at the table. Make as much mess as you want without actually spilling and ruining people's tables.
Not like the mess I created.
All right, so here we go. This is a lighter brew, obviously, but you can give this a taste. See what you think of it. Here you go.
It's light.
But fragrant. If you breathe through the nose, you're getting a lot of fragrance, right? Yeah. So this is not scented tea at all. This is just pure tea leaf.
It's beautiful.
But the variety is really particular. It's got a really interesting flavor profile. And I think that those medicinal notes, those herbal notes, those cinnamon notes, hopefully will work well with this. But we're going to try and do it as a cocktail, right? Because this is a pretty hefty portion, right? You could have it with the tea, but I think, let's amp it up, max it out, and make sure that we've got something that is going to sit perfectly with it.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, so we've got a shaker, we've got a jigger, we've got some black rum, some spiced black rum. You don't have to do this as a...
I like this. This is the sort of collaboration I like. It's 1:30. We're on the rum.
So what we're going to do is we've got the black spiced rum. Again, you can make it virgin. You don't have to use the alcohol, but why not?
Why not?
So this has now been sitting for 5 minutes. Brew the tea as strong as possible. It's all right if you start to develop some bitterness. Yeah. Because we're going to cut that with the rum, and then we've got ginger. It needs
to be punchy enough to cut through the alcohol.
Yeah, it needs to cut through. If it doesn't cut through, it's just going to get lost. So don't be frightened. When you're brewing tea pure just to drink like this, you want to keep it light. You want to keep it relatively elegant. But when you're brewing for cooking, like you've done here, or for mixing with drinks, don't be frightened. If you've picked the right tea, you can go quite hard on the brewing. So we need some ice.
Ice, chef.
Great. So we just put a handful of ice here, and the purpose of the ice is not just to, obviously, we've got hot tea here, so we want to bring it down to temperature, and this is a much better way of making tea cold, just generally. Right. If you want to make tea cold, the best way is to brew it hot and pour it over ice. It's flash chilling it, it locks in all of the goodness, locks in all of the kind of lighter, brighter, more fleeting aromatics in the tea. So we're gonna strain this directly over the ice.
So literally just like that, a couple of minutes tops.
Yeah, I mean, you could leave this longer if you wanted to make it stronger. You can do it to taste. Do you have some lime here? Where's the lime?
I have got lime.
Yeah, great. So I'm gonna then put in a nice generous shot of some spiced rum. There you go. Lovely. We're going to put a good squeeze of lime just to cut it, especially with that lovely fatty pork, which I can...
Rum's got to have lime as well, isn't it?
Exactly, really. Exactly. Then we're just going to shake it, and you'll hear that it kind of stops rattling when the tea has come down to cool temperature.
Getcha.
Can you hear it's
Yes.
kind of gone now, right? So you don't want to put too much ice. If you put too much ice, you're going to over dilute the tea. Right. So you just want to put enough ice to bring it down to really cold. We're going to have a glass here. Right. And that's what I like to see. Good bit of froth here. We pour this in. There you go. So getting a nice froth there.
Okay, so what are you pairing that with? So you've got ginger beer.
So I've got ginger beer. So this is kind of like a riff on the Dark and Stormy, right? Which is a classic cocktail. So riff on that. So just top up, because you want this to be a long drink. You want it to be something that is nice with the meal. And then what I've got here is just last night, I just baked some oranges.
Oh, nice.
Right, so just simple. And when you bake it, it just takes away some of that zestiness and just makes it warmer, which will suit with that drink. So there you go, dish and drink.
Complete.
Let's taste.
Can we eat and drink them
Finally, finally, yeah.
This is the bit I've been looking forward to.
Finally. Okay, let's dig into the food first, I think.
Okay.
That's what we got to do.
I'm going to use this bit, this is for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is for you. A nice hearty portion.
Oh, mine.
I'll just try a bit of the pork from over here. Nice. I recommend just going in with some of that sauce. You don't mind me using my hands, do you?
No. So the sauce is now filtered down into that rice. Oh, listen to that crunch. I'll talk because you're crunching. Real complexity, as you'd expect. But the oolong tea definitely has added a significant step up in flavor. I can taste the tea, I can taste the roast in the tea, because it's a roasted oolong. But it's kind of got this slightly kind of cooked apple, caramel.
There's a lot going on there, isn't there? A lot of flavors.
A lot of flavors, but very soft, very rounded. Nothing, it's all kind of meshed together really, really nicely. All right, you try the drink. I'm going to try some of this crackling.
Don't mind if I do. That is beautiful. And I mean, absolutely beautiful.
Can you taste the tea in it?
You really can, but with the rum's very light in there. Really light. It's more tea. That's gorgeous.
Well, I wanted to make something that wasn't just like a short cocktail.
Yeah.
It needs to be something that you can drink with the meal.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
Right, I'm going to give it a taste.
Give it a little go.
Nice.
It works, doesn't it?
Really works.
Really works.
Really works. It's got the tea, a little tiny bit of bitters, which you want in an adult drink. A little bit, nothing too strong.
Do you know what? I'm going to make a dessert to go with this.
Yeah?
I'm going to do like a matcha coconut ice cream with
Just
maybe
said like 3 of my favourite
maybe
words.
a matcha panna cotta or a tea panna cotta. We'll do some chocolate soil and maybe a little bit of black forest syrup.
So I have to come up with another tea.
Yep. We're going to do a dessert to pair with this, which we're going to do straight after this one. How's that?
That sounds like the perfect day out. I'm going to have a little bit more of your pork, sorry. Wow, the flavour coming
That's what I like
through
to
there.
hear.
That is beautiful. Okay, guys,
Sauces.
you're gonna give us the recipe, right?
Yeah,
I'm
please.
gonna put the recipe in the description below. Check out Hastes Kitchen, and we're gonna do the panna cotta.
Yeah, we're gonna do the dessert.
That'll be on his channel, so check that one out. Really, really give this recipe a try, and the Stormy Ruby or Ruby Storm, whatever you want to call it, it's a winner too.
If you recreate this one, I'd love to see their recreations as well.
Okay. So post them. Instagram all your recreations. Hashtag Mayleaf Hastes Kitchen, and then we'll make
Nice
sure.
short tag.
Yeah. Just you've got to brand it, right?
Yeah, totally.
So definitely try this at home. We've got a nice meal, and then I'm looking forward to dessert. That's it, tea heads. If you made it to the end of this video, then make sure you hit it with a thumbs up. Check out our YouTube playlists and let us know if there are any videos that you would like us to make. If you're ever in London, then come visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, this is Ian Hastes from Hastes Kitchen.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.
Bye.